It came about with my mother deciding to leave her home at 82 years of age after living in the village for over 40 years.
Right.
And for me, it was a very sad time because I felt as if she was going to go and I would lose all contact with her and everything, even though she was only going 25 miles to another island. But there's something very symbolic in that. And it made me look at the life I'd had and the life she'd had there. And I felt at the time it was wrong for my mother, maybe for a selfish reason, because my mother was suddenly going to be half an hour away from me rather than 5 minutes. But for her, I realised that it was moving on as well. My father died 5 years ago. She hadn't really moved things out of the house. And I felt that she was as if preparing her life for something else. So when I wrote the verse, Hannah Sham doing you fall off, it came var soul, it meant that they're stepping out of our lives and heading into another one of their own. One of the verses is Mi cynnych ag mahar, sna galavas and skis, late murach ag vachas, sna hewlat gok and friege. I remember my father and the people who left their village and the communities. And for example, the likes of Murdo MacCush. Murdo MacCush was, in my own village, a great influence on me in my childhood, him and his wife. I was always there. He taught me all I know about the beaches and the sea and everything. But he also, what he gave me, he never asked for anything in return, just to see me happy. But what he actually did for us, he was in the wars, he was a prisoner of war. And I think it's really important that we remember these people for these reasons, that what the life we actually have today was because of their efforts and their endurance. And I think that comes through in the song. In Gaelic, it's got a lot more meaning than it does in the English translation because of the hidden meanings and the associations to people and what it means. But there's also a verse, Han je leche trouw se wachais, han julin kan groeig, sfaren de hokuk chowlich, alara fianda kan marhain. When I came here, first of all, in 1969-70, there was horses ploughing in the machars. I still remember them, and it was a way of life. It was a tradition. But today, everybody's got hydraulic ploughs, they've got big tractors and everything, and it's no longer got that same community feeling that it did have. And then I look around the islands and I see in my own village with 70 people, today there's only 21. And all around there's ruined houses of nettles and where big families were once brought up. But that's not only a poignant reminder of what happened in my generation, but it's also a poignant reminder of the clearances and the emigrations and the potato famines and all of those people who left here. And I think a lot of them come back today looking for that ancestry, and it's very symbolic. Nettles is what's left instead of people in a lot of the communities throughout these islands. The great thing about my father was he was a very social person, and he took me everywhere with him into houses. So whenever he went there, it was like everybody gathered around and he'd tell stories in the oral way. So a lot of what I know was what I learned orally. But I think the influences on myself were mainly my father for poetry writing and songwriting was because he recited poetry he learnt in school, and he could recite maybe 20, 30 verses of stuff. And even people like Keats and Wordsworth and all those people. So the intelligence was there and the knowledge was there. But Céilís were great at them times, but people had more time. Today you look at your neighbour's house and you don't go there. So our community's not changed, we've changed as a people. And that's one of the messages in the song. The last verse is in the song, there's a bit in it, Ashin lan prosh gan glichgas, a million na hugat going, we are too full of pride and lacking in knowledge, and we are at risk of ruining the lifestyle that they actually give us. The idyllic lifestyle that we try to lead today in a world that sometimes looks at idyllic lifestyles as abnormal. But the normality of the way of life here was what they had.